Welcome back to Crunch Time Podcast. As y'all can see, Jimmy's pretty happy right now. Uh, DJ, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. How about
That's good.
yourself?
I'm good. A little bit of bags under my eyes. I had a pretty hard work week, but I'll be all right. I'm young.
You're making sure those golf courses are nice and
Yeah. I got the best bunkers in the nation.
Hey, there we go. There we go.
So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Right quick, just the big news of the day.
LeBron's a bitch.
Damn.
All right, TJ.
Right
LeBron's
wow.
a bitch.
Tell us what you think. Tell us what you think.
Man walked off from his team. Big sign of no leadership. Man's a bitch. You don't. If that was this whole MJ LeBron talk, out the window. MJ still would have stayed in the game even if they were down by 30. But LeBron, he just walks off.
MJ wouldn't be down by 30.
I mean, this is also very true. But
we started this episode off with a banger.
LeBron's a bitch.
All right. Yeah.
This is the thumbnail.
We can talk about that. How he, walked off the court. Yes, they were losing and he wasn't going back in the game. But no, why are you going to walk off the court? Like what is the what do you, he? I feel like the reason he walked off the court is because he was losing, so the attention was off of him. So he wanted the attention to be back on him. He is this playoffs and the end of the regular season, he like kind of showed that he's
selfish and a bitch.
There was only a bad connotation that could have come out of what he did.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's no reason to walk out on your team. It doesn't matter what the score is, what the situation is. That's just not what you do.
And then after the game, he's over there signing a jersey for Devin Booker.
Yeah, and then this man said, I'm going to focus on playing with the Toon Squad instead of the Olympics this year.
And, I understand, Devin Booker, he's a, up-and-coming player and all that. But at the same time, they just beat you in a series. And that's why the NBA these days is kind of – even sports in general, it's like I feel like there's too much sportsmanship involved. They're too friendly, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand.
There's nothing wrong with being friends, but I'm the kind of person that if I just got beat by 20 and lost a series,
you're gonna be pissed. Yeah,
I'm not gonna go talk to the guy 20 minutes after the game.
Yeah.
So that's just my personal opinion.
And now he can go promote his movie, Space Jam 2.
Yeah.
With all that aside, though, let's talk about the series. The Suns played really well. They seemed, especially the game last night, they were on fire coming out. It was obviously game 6, and Devin Booker was insane. He was not missing from downtown. He was lighting it up, showing that he's an all-star.
Fun fact about Devin Booker. So he had 22 points in the first half, which is the most in a first quarter, actually, most in a quarter in playoff history, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Michael Porter Jr. also had 22 earlier in the night. So they both set the record on the same night. In back-to-back games.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and they both hit 6 threes. Devin Booker was 6 for 6, and Michael Porter Jr. was 6 for 8 in the first quarter, not first half, first quarter. But I thought it was pretty crazy that they both set the record on the same exact night.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. I knew it was gonna be like a crazy 3-point scoring game when Jay Crowder came down and first points popped it up, swish. Oh man, that was fun to watch.
TJ,
what?
Why'd you just have to drink at the same time as me?
I can't even see you. All right, all three of us drink now at the same time.
Why can't you see me?
I can. I have it minimized to where I can't see you three unless you're the one talking.
Oh, because you're on the internet.
Yeah, we're getting off topic here, Will. We came here to do a show to talk about how LeBron's a bitch, and you're out here talking about drinking.
You got to stop. My mom watches this.
That's fine. She knows how I feel. I'm just keeping it real for the fans because guess what? I found out today I found more fans.
Good. But yeah.
Shout out to them. You guys are real ones.
This was a series. The Lakers needed their full roster, and even then, I don't know if they would have. I don't know if they would have still them, it would have been a lot better games. But I mean, it's not solely on LeBron for losing. Not last game.
He was without AD.
Yes, but also
you mean street clothes?
If he'd have played, do you think they would have at least gone 7 games?
I mean,
I don't know. I was just going to point out that 2 games ago, Dennis Schroeder had 0 points, and he's their 3rd leading scorer. And he, he's supposed to be a 15, 16 point per game scorer, and he had 0 in a game without Anthony Davis. Well, Anthony Davis got hurt. No, Anthony Davis didn't play at all. Yeah, in game 5, Anthony Davis didn't play at all, and he had 0 points. And yes, I'm sure people expected more from LeBron, but I mean, he's 36. He looks like he's starting to decline a little bit. I know he's still putting up really good numbers, but this was his lowest points per game average in a playoff series since the 2011 finals. He just didn't seem fully healthy.
Yeah.
And the whole team didn't really seem fully healthy. I think they need to get rid of – I think they need to make everybody on the team except for Anthony Davis and LeBron available. Schroeder's a free agent. Drummond will be a free agent. But, I mean, people like Casey –
Maybe Talon Horton-Tucker. He's one dude that I can see maybe staying.
If you trade him in a deal to get a Bradley Beal or somebody like that, I'm giving him up. I'm giving up every single person on that roster except for them 2 because you only have a couple years left. Maybe. Who knows? I mean, Anthony Davis gets hurt every game. LeBron's, like I said, he'll be 37 next year. Who knows?
He's holding out for when his son comes.
But is he, though? Who knows? Like, he might take the Toon Squad seriously and start playing with bunnies and shit for the rest of his life.
Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, you know what I mean. No, but Dennis Schroeder, though, he took out LA point guard out of his bio.
Yeah.
And so that says a lot about what he's trying to do.
But then he came out and said that he wanted to be back. So it's just like, but I think
signals.
That's what his agent told him to say.
yeah. Like he's just saying that to say that. But exactly. It'll be interesting to see how their offseason goes. I mean, they won the championship last year in the bubble. And then they got better. They picked up Montrezl Harrell, Dennis Schroeder, Marc Gasol, who Marc Gasol didn't. He showed his age this year, but Montrezl Harrell didn't even play in the series. Basically, like I don't know.
And not to mention Andre Drummond, who, I mean, was so bad last game that Marc Gasol got the start, and he didn't play for a while. Yeah, I think they definitely, like you said, that'd be a good idea for them if they can make some kind of package to get like a Dame or something like that. That'd be insane for them.
But I mean, back to the Suns. I think the Suns, they deserve this. No matter, even if the Lakers were fully healthy, I think the Suns still had a I mean, Chris Paul averaged like 9 and 6 this series because he was injured, but he was still playing.
Yeah.
And I mean, Devin Booker, I think I looked earlier, he averaged like 34. I mean, he's pretty good. He's a very good scorer.
He's all right. Yeah.
But y'all know I've always been a Devin Booker hater. But my thing when I said empty stats was I say empty stats because they don't see, everybody's like, "Oh, empty stats guys are stupid because just because they're on a bad team doesn't mean they can like carry a team." And a lot of people that say empty stats say that because they think that the player can't do that on a playoff team. I wasn't saying that. I'm saying that him alone couldn't lead his team to the playoffs.
I mean, but you could say the same thing for a Damian Lillard. I mean, he's been doing that, but like he's not going to take his team to more than past the first round.
No, yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying Devin Booker for the first 5 years of his career, he didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, I was going to say definitely Chris Paul helped him.
Yes, and everybody was like, everybody was saying like, "Oh, the Suns are good because of Devin Booker," and I'm like, they had basically the same team. They brought in everybody got a year older: DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, everybody. But they brought in.
Well, that's kind of what happens when a new year happens. Well, everybody gets a year older.
Todd?
All right, TJ, give us your opinion on every single other game. Since you're being so bold right now.
I was just being bold because what he said was kind of common sense.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm saying
but it's a real
everybody got a year older, but they brought in Jay Crowder and Chris Paul, who Chris Paul might be the best leader in the league right now. As far
behind like, Trae Young, baby. The GOAT.
Anyways, but yeah, so that was it was a fun series. I thought it was pretty funny that the Lakers were like celebrating basically after winning games 2 and 3, and then AD got hurt and shit got real quick.
This is true. This is very true. But one team that didn't have to lose, is the best team in the league, the Atlanta Hawks. I'm going to talk about them because I want to and because I haven't been able to for a while. TJ, I know you're upset, but you're only upset because the Raptors didn't make shit.
You're right. We're on rebuild season now.
It's such a strange thing being a Hawks fan because for so long we've been so bad, and it's like, all right, we get the 8th pick this year, the 7th pick this year, but that's not going to do anything for us. But just recently,
finally, the life of a Hornets fan.
Well, you guys are on the uprise too. I mean, LaMelo Ball's he's the real deal. But hey, you're not the Hawks yet. The Hawks are, honestly, we're probably gonna get smoked in the next round. But
76ers.
I don't know, like low.
It could be close.
If Clint Capella can keep playing the way he's been playing, his defense has been fantastic. He's been like blocking every single shot that comes in the way. He's been attempting to as well, which is a lot to be said because a lot of players are super soft nowadays and don't even go up for shots. And that kind of bothers me a ton because, like, you play the center spot to protect the glass. You are a glass cleaner. Do your job. And Clint Capella finally is a center for the Hawks that can do that.
I understand that, but Joel Embiid is a lot better than Julio.
Oh, no, I definitely agree with that. No, not Nerlens Noel. He's goated. But, it's going to be a problem. We're going to have to try to double him or something, and I don't know who's going to guard Ben Simmons.
If he's healthy, he might not be healthy. He's been out the last 2 games. I mean, I think the Hawks showed because coming into the season, with all the acquisitions they had, everybody was like, "Oh, the Hawks are probably going to be a playoff team," and then they started off the season really bad, and then picked it up at the end. But nobody expected the Knicks to make the playoffs at all. Like, the Knicks were like a shocker to everybody. So I think the Hawks were definitely the better team. And the Knicks showed I feel like the Knicks showed how they were kind of not necessarily a fluke, but like it was too early for them, if that makes sense. Like they were too young.
Good for them for making the playoffs, but you're not making it past the first round kind of thing.
Yeah. And like the Hawks, they have, a good mix of veteran players with young guys such as Trae Young and John Collins.
Well, Jimmy, how did you feel about Trae Young's bow after he made the 3?
Dude, that's just what he does. I don't know.
I like the attitude he had throughout the series.
Yeah.
But that's because he was getting a lot of shit from New York and from the fans especially. So it was kind of like a big
it was him. Was it him or it was him?
Someone threw popcorn at him, right?
No, that was Russell Westbrook. It was the dude.
That's who it was.
Spit on him, right?
That's what it was.
It didn't. I don't think it hit him, but it was still like
fans have gone crazy this week. It's hard to remember what's going on.
But it was kind of like a big, and it wasn't like an FU from Trae Young. It was more of like put some respect on my name.
Did y'all see the picture of him? I like the picture of him like when he's looking back at the crowd and they're all going they're all flipping him off and he's just sitting there smiling.
Dude, he lives in all of New York's heads rent free, and it is awesome. It's a great feeling. But you just see, was it Reggie Bullock or was it Nerlens Noel after the game? Or it was not even after the game. It was like about to go into halftime, and they shoved him while he's walking to the locker room, and Trae Young just kind of shook it off and just kept going.
Trae Young's got he's one of those. He's kind of like Steph. He's a showboater, and you can't really. Most of the time you can't really stop him. So,
but he's that player that if he's not on your team, you hate him so much because he's kind of a dick, and the way he plays is not like, normal play, but it's fun having that guy on your team because I remember when he was in college, couldn't stand the dude.
Yeah.
He was a little prick. He was annoying, but he still is. But he's in Atlanta, so it's cool.
I have one final question then for you, Jimmy. Will the Atlanta curse strike in the second round?
Relax, man. Really, come on. Probably, honestly. I'm just happy we got.
Will y'all get swept?
I don't think so. I don't think we'll get
swept.
No,
I don't think you will either.
In all seriousness,
y'all could probably. I think that y'all can win 2 games.
I think we're gonna sweep.
It depends on Embiid's health.
Yeah, no, I mean, but also it depends on how we can get rid of Ben Simmons. If we can get even Bogdan, I don't know who's going to guard him, dude. Are we going to put John Collins on him? Or are we going to keep John Collins?
Y'all don't need to worry about guarding Ben Simmons. Y'all need y'all need to worry about Ben Simmons guarding Trae Young.
Well, that too, but I mean, I think we have enough shooters around Trae to like spread it out, and we get. I mean, Bogdanovich showed that he's a good ball handler.
76ers are a very good defensive team. Ben Simmons, Matisse Thybulle, Danny Green, Joel Embiid.
No, I'm definitely not saying that.
Tobias Harris isn't like a great defender, but he's a big body.
Yeah,
they have
it's going to be tough, dude. It's like I trust Nate McMillan to put in the right schemes and everything, and to take it the right way. And I know he's going to do everything necessary. Is that going to be enough?
Yeah,
probably not. Who knows? Yeah, but if we can, I mean, Onyeka Okongwu, he's been shown that he's actually a decent player, and he has a bright future. I don't know if we're going to try to keep re-signing Clint Capella on some hopefully smaller deals, but I'd be happy.
Honestly, I could see y'all possibly doing like a sign and trade with John Collins this year, just because I don't think he's worth the max. But I don't know. I don't think he's worth the max though.
Yeah, but like, who do you think we should? Because I've been seeing a lot of Kristaps Porzingis rumors.
Oh God!
And the way KP's been playing, I would much rather have John Collins.
Yeah.
But obviously, like, he has a little feud with Trae Young.
Send Kristaps to China.
I don't know. I love John Collins. I've been rocking with John Collins ever since like when he was in the summer league and made some monster dunk on somebody. I was like, hey, this dude's legit. Like he's the next star in Atlanta. But obviously, he's obviously. I think he's probably my second favorite player on the team. But I mean, if we can get something decent in return, then who knows? What if like I know who was it that? If there's any chance like to get like a Chris Paul even to have even more veteran leadership, I don't think it's gonna happen. But like a player like that. A big time like veteran that also can still play.
Stay in Phoenix.
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
But all right, we're getting off topic.
Yeah, we're getting off topic. But if we can get like a veteran leader who can also put up points and be a good stretch for, then as long as we keep Capella, then I'm okay with it. Even though I love John Collins, I want him to stay, but he's not worth the max. At least not yet.
I would say he's worth like right below the max. But I just don't think
around $20 million a year.
Right below the max, but right above the minimum.
Yep.
So, yep, TJ. Yep. Anyways, TJ, what's the next series we got?
Which way you want to go with it? We can go with the Denver series.
Let's talk about Denver. Let's talk about the Denver series.
Yeah. Go East-West. What were your thoughts on the Denver-Portland series? Because I have some strong thoughts on this one.
So what? Denver won what? 4-2?
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about it. Us three talked about it the other day when we tried this. Dame can't be the only player to do anything. Like we said, keep Dame, trade CJ, and all that. But it definitely showed that like they weren't gonna go far at all in the playoffs, especially when you put up 55 points and you still lose in double overtime.
Playoff record 12 threes.
Still lose.
This is the end of the Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum.
Dude. Has to be.
It has to be.
They're going on like I want to say I think it's like 7 years together. And they play really well together. I just don't think that it's enough to
win championships.
Yeah, And I just think that in this day and age, you have to have a wing style player to win a championship. You can't win a championship if your best player is a center or a point guard, and that's just my opinion. I mean, I would say maybe the one exception is like a Jokic, who is a center, but the way he plays like a he can pass, he can do everything. So
he's not just solidified.
Yes, but like Damian Lillard, I guess the one exception would be Steph when the Warriors won it, but because he was the best player before KD came. Before KD.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. But think about it: LeBron, KD, Kawhi, Giannis, all these like all the best players in the league are like they're big wing players.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even now coming up, Luka is a 6'8". I mean, yes, they call him a point guard, but he's not a point guard body. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jason Tatum, he's a big wing guy. Jaylen Brown's a wing guy. I just feel like you have to be, your best player has to be 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", be able to do everything that, smaller and bigger players can do.
So where do you think a good landing spot would for? Hold on. Do you think Portland keeps Dame, or do you think Dame's gone?
I think Portland keeps Dame, but I think that they
trade away CJ
for a wing player. Obviously, you're not going to get somebody like KD, Kawhi, somebody like that.
I mean, you could get someone like a Tobias Harris though, and because I see Tobias Harris and CJ McCollum kind of on a similar level, and if I'm that team, I don't want to play the two back, the back court monster anymore. Like I'm not trying to.
I just think they've run around, and it's just time to switch it up. There comes a time when you just got to switch things up.
But also, like, it makes sense towards the Sixers as well. You know what I mean? Because like they tried out an actual player that can shoot the ball at the two guard this year, and I mean it worked out obviously well for them. But having like a CJ McCollum in there that could work out for them. I don't know. It kind of works both ways, but again, they need to move on from somebody. There's been rumors everywhere. I mean, at this time of year, there's unrealistic, kind of ridiculous rumors about all the things. But like, I've seen Dame to the Lakers. I've seen Dame to the Warriors. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But
I mean, I think that everybody talks about if the Mavericks win this series, Kawhi could possibly leave LA. You never know. What if the Clippers don't want to lose Kawhi for nothing, so they do a sign and trade with Kawhi and CJ McCollum, some type of, you know what I'm saying, something like that. Which I don't think that would happen, because I don't think Kawhi would want to go to Portland. But at the same time, I mean, you never know. I feel like Kawhi and Damian Lillard together would be. I mean, that's pretty good. That sounds like a pretty good duo.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But talking about the series, I mean, the Nuggets, let's be honest, the Nuggets should not have won the series.
No.
You could argue that they're second and third best players. Well, I would say their second and maybe fourth best player were out when Jamal Murray and Will Barton. But Michael Porter Jr.
I'd say Michael Porter Jr. is definitely the third best.
Michael Porter Jr. he's been playing really good this I mean, there's only been 6 games obviously, but he's been playing really good. Like I said, he broke that record in the first quarter. He was kind of chill for the rest of the game, but because Jokic ended up taking off, and I think we all agree that Jokic is the MVP, and Jokic carried that team past Portland, which is why I think Portland needs to get rid of them, because if you can't beat a team without 2 of their top 4 players, I mean,
yeah.
And it's not like you don't have a good center in Nurkic.
Yeah, I mean, Nurkic isn't what he used to be, but he's still a top 10 center in the league.
Yeah.
I think that the Nuggets are going to play. See, the Nuggets are the 3 seed, right? Yeah. So they're going to play who's the 2 seed?
The
Suns. Yeah, the Nuggets and the Suns. I mean, That should be a pretty interesting series. Obviously the Suns should win that, but Jokic, I mean, the way he's been playing this whole season, if he could carry them.
You can't doubt him.
He could carry them to
Dude, just watching some of the shots he's taking, like he took this 1-3 over Nurkic. Nurkic was literally in Buddy's face, and he literally just over his head, just like what?
way back here.
It's insane. I don't know how he does it, but it's consistently like.
And then he'll do those shots where like he'll be backing somebody down, and he'll like just do like a turnaround jumper, throw it up type stuff.
Yeah. Like a mixture between like Dirk and like Hakeem and Kareem type stuff, like.
And then he'll end up having 8 rebounds and 12 assists with the 30 points that he puts up. So, I mean that series was it only went 6 games, but it was a pretty interesting series.
Yeah.
Like, as far as like people scoring a lot and all that. Let's see. One of the other series that ended a while ago was the Bucks and the Heat.
Swept.
Yeah, the rest of the series we talked about kind of the main important ones really, besides like more Dallas and the Clippers, but like
they play again tonight.
We can kind of talk really fast upon them because
the
there wasn't much going on.
I mean, the Heat struggled all year. They snuck into the playoffs at the end, and then the Bucks showed that I think they're legit this year.
Contenders.
They're legit contenders. Same thing with the Nets. I mean, we all knew they were going to beat the Celtics. Even with Jaylen Brown, the Celtics didn't have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that
a water bottle was used as a weapon in that series.
Yeah.
That man is now going away for assault with a deadly weapon.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy that they charged him with that. But I mean, what he did was wrong. You don't throw.
I 100% agree. I think fans are crazy right now
but
between the fighting. And
I don't think he should have been charged with a felony. But those series, I mean, they weren't very. I mean, Tatum dropped 50 and they stole a game. But Kyrie didn't play good that game. I think this next series between the Bucks and the Nets, whoever wins that, I think they win the finals. I think this is to see who wins the finals. And it kind of sucks that they're playing in the second round and not the conference finals or even the finals if the NBA ever decided to go to 16 teams.
I say we do a full-on prediction right now of our finals. But we'll start with TJ. Like, what's your full-on just like final prediction?
What do you mean, like the two teams? The two teams going to the finals?
Yeah, like obviously it's not over yet. I mean, we still.
I mean, we're only moving into the second round with some of the series. We're not even.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the Jazz and Memphis. I mean,
I don't really want to be honest.
That was another one of those series. It was just kind of like.
Are they still playing?
No, that series is over.
That's what I thought.
They lost game 1 because Donovan Mitchell was out, and then when he came back, I mean, they handled it. Yeah.
That team is so well put together. It's just like honestly, they're a dark horse too. They're the 1 seed, but are still like an underdog low key.
Yeah.
And so they're still considered like a dark horse. But TJ, as of right now, with what has gone on and like the results of some of these games, what's your finals prediction?
Okay, well, how about this? Instead of a finals, why don't we do a semifinals? And then next week.
No, I mean like
screw it.
We can do it all.
Finals, honestly.
From what you've seen so far in the playoffs, who do you?
Yeah, I know.
The West.
For the West, just because they did take down LA, I'm gonna go with the Suns, and I could see it being the Suns and the Nets, but a part of me wants to hope that Atlanta makes it there, and then that's when the curse strikes.
I don't think Atlanta is gonna have enough to make it. Like I said, East. I think the East, even though I think Embiid's injury hurts him a little bit, but even then, I still had either the Nets or the Bucks making it out.
Yeah.
And so I think whoever wins that series, I don't know who's going to win. I think it's probably going to go seven
games.
And whoever wins that series will make it to the finals in the East. And the West,
it's tough.
I think the Western Conference Finals is going to be the Suns versus the Jazz. And I think the Jazz are going to win. I think the Jazz are going to go to the finals. And they'll lose to whatever team's in the East.
Jimmy, who you got, buddy? Are you going to put your Hawks?
No, unfortunately, I'm not. I've said it before. I think the Hawks are definitely a dark horse team. Kind of like I related them to Miami last year, where they're obviously not the best team.
Yeah.
But with talent-wise, but I mean, Eric Spoelstra's a great coach. They have a great scheme. They were the underdog in every game and kind of showed that they're a real deal till this year, of course. But so I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, if the Hawks made it out of this side of the bracket. I don't think there's any chance that they'll beat Milwaukee or Brooklyn. Yeah. So I'm gonna go Brooklyn, just because of all the hype and KD's. Hell, he might even be the best player in the league right now. But I think he's gonna get the better of Giannis this series, alongside the help of two other superstars. But I think they're gonna end up playing the Clippers. The Clippers have not been too great right now, but I think
that's the thing. I know I've kind of forgot about the Clippers because they're struggling right now. I do think that if they can the Mavericks are like the worst matchup for them. I think that if they can somehow make it out of the series, I mean, they play tonight, they have to win 2 games in a row. If they can make it out of the Maverick series, I think the Clippers have a great chance of making it. It's just they just don't have a good matchup when compared to the Mavericks. That's been a pretty interesting series. Luka has been carrying them.
Oh yeah,
but I mean, I don't know. I saw somebody tweet the other day and they said, if I see Rudy Gobert holding the NBA Finals trophy at the end of the season, I'm never watching it again. And I'm like, I don't know. I think Utah kind of deserves a championship after having all those great teams with Karl Malone and John Stockton, and then losing to Jordan, all the time.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem realistic. Like they don't seem like they're the best team.
Yeah. It's weird. Like, yeah.
But no, I think. But with that being said, though, it's very well that the Clips don't even make it out of this round, which would be ridiculous if both the LA teams don't make it out of the first round. But if they don't make it out, I'm gonna have to go with the Suns too, man. I think the progression of DeAndre Ayton and obviously Devin Booker has been the real deal, but Chris Paul's such a veteran leader. He was in the MVP conversation for a reason. Not even that, the rest of the team is just so good. Frank Kaminsky was throwing some dimes last night. Mikal Bridges was coming in and contact dunk and everything. They have a good squad, and they seem like they care. And that's what a lot of these other teams, the Lakers, they didn't seem like they cared at all. They were just kind of out there to be out there. But the Suns they're a team. They're definitely playing for each other. They're not playing for LeBron's legacy. So
the reason I think I'm picking the Jazz over the Suns is I think the Jazz are a little bit more talented as far as overall, in different positions, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Devin Booker and Donovan Mitchell are pretty similar in talent. Chris Paul is better than Mike Conley, but Chris Paul's injured right now. So, Rudy Gobert is better than DeAndre Ayton at what he does than what DeAndre Ayton does. I think Jordan Clarkson and Joe Ingles are better than Mikal Bridges, or they're better in their roles in what they do than Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson and people like that. So that's why I got them. But I mean, the playoffs is still wide open. Literally anything can happen. I think it would be pretty cool if the Hawks played the Nuggets.
Yeah.
Something just crazy and out there.
Hell, honestly, the Nuggets could make it too. To be honest, I mean, they have a 7'2" 2-point guard, and it's kind of insane.
And I mean, Michael Porter Jr., like I said, that wing player who is 6'10" and can do everything. So
it's exciting.
More playoffs. More playoffs to come. This weekend's going to be another weekend of playoffs, and
the Bucks and Nets series starts on tomorrow.
They play tomorrow. Yeah,
they start tomorrow.
I think we should kind of flip the switch a little bit here. We're talking about obviously I was talking about Atlanta, the Hawks, but now there's a ton of news coming up since the last time we've had a podcast going.
Since we're
Julio Jones is going to be traded. We don't know to where, but he's had the offers, and I think they're going to come out with it pretty soon, within the next week or so.
Well, they had to save $15 million. They had to trade him after June 1st. So, I mean, it made sense.
Yeah. I just thought that they would have already had a deal going, which I think
to keep Aaron in Green Bay, you trade for Julio. I think that's the only way you can keep Aaron in Green Bay.
But what are you gonna give in return? Like that's the problem. Like
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love.
So I was watching like these videos and kind of doing my own like research into it, and it would be dumb for the Falcons to. I mean, obviously, if we take a quarterback now, like from a trade, it'd be cool, no. But I would much rather have a next year's rookie, just because the way the contracts align and the cap hits that would take from if we were to release Matt this year, release Matt the next year, or if we had other quarterbacks and then we'd have to pay him coming up. Like, I'd rather get a secured rookie contract for 4 years or however long it is, 4 years, I'm pretty sure, plus the 5th-year option on a rookie next year. If that's a Sam Howell, who knows? Maybe the Falcons are really bad and we get a top 5 pick and we can get Sam Howell. That'd be perfect. Yep. That'd be literally the ideal situation for us. Or even a Spencer Rattler. He's good. Maybe, maybe JT Daniels, one of these dudes.
Well, I mean, it's one of those that it just depends on how Ryan plays this year. But
I think it's very clear. I mean, if we get rid of Julio, we need cap space for 2022. That's the biggest thing. But if we're getting rid of Julio, so we're supposed to be clearing up some cap space. Matt needs to go, and I think since we didn't take him this year, it's very, very clear that QB is our number one needed spot next year.
Well, I think over the next couple of weeks we are going to get a lot of things in the NFL. OTAs have officially begun. Lamar came out yesterday. Lamar wants to take more snaps under center. Videos have come out of Tim Tebow catching balls down in Jacksonville at tight end.
Yeah.
I think OTAs is going to be a big thing for a lot of teams right now. Aaron has not showed up to OTAs for Green Bay.
Living out in Hawaii, baby.
Living out in Hawaii with actor Miles Teller. But, I mean, it's just going to transition over this week. A couple of weeks of OTAs and really just kind of where teams are going to be at trading-wise. But I mean, with Julio, I think you got to give him the right deal, but I don't think he's worth a first-round pick like everyone thinks. And the reason I say that is because when Randy Moss was traded for, I think it was either a 3rd or 4th round pick. And I think that 3rd or 4th round pick could be somebody good. So I think it's just going to depend.
Going down is one of the worst trades in NFL history. So I think
not really.
I think he's worth either a next year's first. Not necessarily 2022 for.
I don't think he's worth a first though. I think he's worth a second, definitely, but not a first.
I think a team that's contending would give up a future first to get Julio Jones. Remember, a team that's contending, this will be the 30th pick in the draft. Yeah. It's almost equivalent to giving a second, but it's way more enticing for the Falcons to accept it. That's kind of my opinion on it.
I think we'll learn a lot more over the next couple weeks, like TJ said. Once there's only going to be in 2 weeks. There's only going to be 2 series going on in the NBA, so we'll be able to talk a lot more about the NFL and some other
more stuff will come out in OTAs. Especially next week, we'll talk about the results of the Floyd Mayweather Logan Paul fight this Sunday.
We'll have
$3,000 on Logan Paul.
More playoff talk. We'll talk about the Floyd Mayweather fight and whatever happens with that.
Of course.
I'm sure maybe some big news. Who knows? Maybe Aaron Rodgers gets traded. Deshaun Watson gets traded. Who knows?
Julio gets traded. Well, I mean, it'll be one of those. They'll be coming out soon.
Yeah, and but until then,
if you like the video, like and subscribe.
Please.
If you did like the video, recommend it to a friend. If you didn't like the video, there's the door. We don't need you here anymore. We don't want your time.
Please go to.
Follow our Instagram or TikToks.
Everything.
Go check out Will's other channel where he does other stuff on the side.
My new channel, Wilbur Unlimited. Go check it out. Like and subscribe to that.
And we definitely want to know you guys' opinions on everything. So comment down below where you think Julio is going to go. Who do you think is going to be in the finals this year? And